But how we pitch it to the seller is our partnership program. Yeah, if you're okay with us, if you're okay waiting a few months for us to get your property up to speed for a retail buyer, for a first-time home buyer, then we can get you your 275. Novation agreement. A novation agreement is a fix and flip. It's always a fix and flip. It's never holding it on long-term as a rental or anything like that. It's always you helping the seller get the property up to speed to list it on the market. So this property that I'm doing a fix and flip on right now in Brockton, we bought the property for $205,000. We're putting $70,000 worth of work into it, and then we'll sell it for $375,000. So let's just say that that was a novation agreement. We could agree with the seller that we're going to get them $205,000 for the property, but never close on it. So we're never going to take the deed. But essentially, we're going to give them that $205,000 after we get the property up to speed. So after we put $70,000 worth of work into it and list it on the market with our realtors, and it sells to a retail buyer, we'll get you your $205,000. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
So let me go over an actual deal that we just did. So 230 Grafton Street in Brockton. Our seller, his name was Ralph. Ralph was about to go through foreclosure, right? He was disabled. He hasn't worked in like 3 years. He was literally about to go through foreclosure in a week. And we're like, okay, how the hell do we save this guy from foreclosure? Ralph's like, I don't care what you do, but as long as you get me $275,000, I'm willing to do any deal with you. All right, Ralph. Well, the property is worth like $350,000. So if I brought this property for $275,000 in cash, that would not work. Why? Because I got to pay my hard money lender a bunch of points and interest and everything in order to close on it, right? I also have to close on it, which means I got to pay closing costs. I got to pay the attorneys a bunch of money and all this stuff. So after they all make their money, it kills my deal to buy it in cash. So Ralph, why don't you just let me put a couple bucks into the property? I'll extend your foreclosure, so don't worry about the foreclosure. We'll get that extended for like 90 days. Don't sweat that. But if you're willing to wait 90 days, I'll get you your $275,000. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some love into the property, and I'm going to have my realtor come in and list it on the market. Once the realtor lists it on the market and we sell it to a retail buyer, you will get your $275,000. For me, it allows me not to have to come up with all the $275,000 in cash in order to get you your $275,000. I'm just going to use the retail buyer's money to get you your $275,000. But I know what the marketplace needs in order for you to get your $275,000. So why don't you let me take control of everything from here on out? I'll extend your foreclosure. Everything will be all set. And you'll get your $275,000 in 3 months. Ralph was like, cool. Yeah, let's do it. So for Ralph, what we ended up doing is we came to an agreement on an novation agreement, which we can call it a purchase price or price to the seller of $275,000. Okay. For 2 months straight, he had a bunch of stuff in the property, like boxes to the ceiling. And we had to clean all that stuff out. So we had to get a pod to go there. We had a dumpster to go there, and we had a clean out company come through. We also did some carpet. We did some paint. We did some drywall. We did very little cosmetic work. We put $8,000 into the property. So now we're all in at $283,000. Because when we close on it, we have to pay Ralph $275,000, and we've spent $8,000 already.
293, right?
83. I stink at math too. I was second guessing myself. Wait. So the reason why I was willing to do this deal is because I knew the property was worth $350,000 if I put $8,000 worth of work into it. So we ended up listing it after we put the $8,000 worth of work into it at $350,000. The property ended up selling at $335,000. Okay. Sold at $335,000. We had an agreement with a seller first time home buyer for $335,000. So what did we have to do here? We told Ralph that he's getting $275 no matter what. Like, that's what you get in your pocket, bro. It's essentially our partnership program. It's just like our cash offer, but we're just going to facilitate everything for you, and it's going to take another couple months rather than just buying your house in cash in 2 weeks. So he's like, okay, cool. But since we agreed with him that he's getting $275 net, that means we are now in charge of paying the realtor and paying closing costs and dealing with concessions and all that type of stuff. So immediately when I'm underwriting these things, I take 8% off of what I think the ARV is. What I think this property is going to resell for, I take 8% off. So I'll go 335 times 0.92, which is 92%, which is 100% minus 8. That brings us to 308. So I know if I sell this property on the market for 335, after paying out all the costs, we're really at 308. Okay? What do we have to do with this 308? We have to subtract the 275, and we have to subtract the $8,000. What does that leave us with? Minus 275 minus $8,000. That leaves us with about $25,000. And that's raw profit. And that's how we underwrite the Novation. But how we pitch it to the seller is our partnership program. Yeah, if you're okay with us, if you're okay waiting a few months for us to get your property up to speed for a retail buyer, for a first-time home buyer, then we can get you your 275. So some indicators for that while you're in the report bucket is they need a certain amount for a certain reason, right? Ralph's situation was he was moving to Arizona. He owed $250 on the property, right? And he needed money to leave. He needed money for first, last security. He needed some furniture. He needed all that. So a cash offer would have been at like maybe 240. He would have had to come out of pocket 10 grand for one in order to get the deal done. But let's just say we can come up to 250. It didn't work for him because he needed money to get on a flight to go to Arizona. So I knew that while I was going through the report bucket with him. I understood like, okay, a cash offer does not work for this guy because he needs money to leave. What is the best scenario for him to get money ASAP